welcome back to In His Mind. Got some hard news from work about, I don't want to go into it, I just got some hard news that I'll be thinking about for a while. Oh man. Alright, so this night's topic would be the chat room. I'm going to call it that. And I'm pretty sure this will ring a bell for those who've been in the AOL chat rooms of like 20 years ago or whatever, when the internet was first being publicized. And if you remember those sampler CDs that were handed out, I want to say around the late 90s. My old friend Ed Reese was still alive then. He passed away a couple of years ago. I don't remember when he passed away, but there was a white elephant party and we were all getting each other gifts, and I grabbed like 15 of those sampler CDs and a pack of razors and ended up giving it to him. I think the rule was like the gift had to be under $10. Honestly, that's what I miss about Christmas, about just have the parties and at the church that we were at. I haven't been to any parties like that in years, and that's what I miss about Christmas, is being together and with friends and family and actually having a fun time together. That's why I don't really like Christmas anymore. It's just you don't get time to spend with each other. Anyway, I got off track. My chat room that I have online, there's only a handful of Christians in it, and there's a lot of non-Christians in there as well. It's very interesting to note that how other Christian chat rooms run versus mine. Well, that's why I wanted to talk about it tonight some, because it's important. It's not necessarily going to be different, but trying to outright censor others is not something that I care to do. I don't care for control. I don't care for telling other people, like, you can't do this, you can't do that. But I will say that certain things should be limited, whereas other rooms, you have to kind of tiptoe around by avoiding certain things that would outright get you banned. Not just because it happened to me previously, where I was like, well, what about the Witch of Endor? Well, I mean, I have a very good question about that, and it got me removed from this one chat room. You know, sometimes there are very good questions that are very explicit. The Witch of Endor in the Bible is only one example. There's others out there too, like Song of Solomon's, when talking about men and women and love blossoming and relationships. Yeah. So, like, the stance there is basically some of the harder stuff you just limit, rather than just saying, like, you know, like a three strikeout rule, rather than just simply say it's like not allowed in there. Swearing would be one of them. Now, I think the idea there would be, if there's anything that's going to be attacked, it should be the point of the topic. It should be the conversation, the stuff that's said out there, not the people themselves. Because the idea that I'm trying to push forward is, at the end of the day, people can leave and go home, or leave and get off in this case, since it's online, with something to take away from the conversations. Make it be enjoyable without having to worry about treading the water or stepping on eggshells. Like, you're afraid you're going to get banned for asking this question, stuff like that. The other main point that I've noticed is that other Christians in their groups and stuff, they want their own little safety bubble. You know, they want their own little area. So when we Christians are called to be a part of the world, to be salt of the world, to be the light of the world, to go out and mingle, there's a proper time and place to rest and recover and be in your own safe groups. But we're also called to be among others out there, to do what we can to help each other out. carrying each other's burdens is going to be tricky because you got to know what you're taking on. You got to be able to handle it. And there's the other people pointed out, like, there's the whole, well, what if the other person just slacks off and you start doing all the work? There's that too. Online chat rooms kind of skip a lot of that, thankfully. It's just like, here's a topic and people can choose to join in or not. And to be frank, you know who care by those who participate and those who speak up. Oh man. Oh right, this is water, not sweet tea. Derp. Yeah, okay. I put my cup of sweet tea right in front of me. I was like, yeah, okay. No, it's water. Oh man. So, as far as chat rooms go, they're important, they're needed, mostly because meeting up with other people in real life are not going to happen the same way that they once did. The crowds are full of people who are older, and those who are younger, they tend to just be buried in their phones and stuck in the online digital world. I want to say chat rooms can be a healthy mix of both, of getting people out of their house and to meet up in other areas, because at some point people are going to wake up and realize, yeah, let's go out and do something. Let's go hang out and have fun. I mean, yeah, that can happen and that should happen, because the whole point of communication is to get people to spend time with each other. The real problem is when you have people spending so much time with other people who are not even in their area, you know, like those who are living in a different state, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles apart from each other, or who live in other countries. I had a pen pal from Iran once, and she and I are still friends on Facebook, but I haven't heard from her in, like, I want to say since 2013 or 15 or whatever. The last I heard is that she was trying to go to Canada. So we used to talk a lot back in the day, and now she's just gone, a ghost, a memory, so to speak. So having a pen pal, having these online chat rooms, people to talk to all across the world, there's a place for that too, in the chat room, so to speak. I want to say your best friends and family, you don't need that because you are already seeing each other in real life. Except when you get older, that's not the case. I rarely see my parents, I rarely see my siblings. And actually, one of the siblings I had a bit of a falling out with, and frankly, it's got me a little depressed and angry, because it's like, it's not directly my fault, but when I was a kid, I wasn't the best kid, you know, when I was younger and all that. So part of it is I am seen today as I was 20, 30, around 30 years ago. And I think that isn't exactly fair. I've heard of other things too that make absolutely no sense, because it's like, it seems like when people get angry or upset, one of my siblings died, and I want to say that plays a part of why I'm looked at negatively as well. Either because I didn't step up and take his place, or I wasn't like him, or I made more mistakes than him, or whatever. So, just some issues with siblings there, and anyway. Love my family, love my siblings. I just don't see them very often. Frankly, that's been depressing for me as well. They're not online either, and that's something else to note. That goes into a slightly different part here of, like, if you have a solid real life, your life on the outside is healthy, it's decent, you're going to be offline. There's going to be no need to be online, to stay online. This is not to say you're not going to pop on, check emails or check the news or whatever, but to live in today's world and be online, it's almost like you have to not have a family, you have to be busy with work, your kids, stuff like that, where you just don't have time to be online. And even if you are online, you may end up having a favorite platform or two. I've been on Facebook for years. I've seen it change from 2008 till now, and frankly, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of what it's become. Twitter became X, I want to say last year or the year before last, and that is something I'm growing to be more active on, simply because of what I'm seeing there, the news, the updates. That's all different, and it's definitely biased. You've got a lot more people who are hateful on there. Telegram, I'm also on. I want to say with the arrest of the founder last month, if I remember correctly, the safety and security of just being whoever, the anonymity, is going to be now jeopardized, because it's likely there's going to be backdoors implemented into the system, into the program itself, that is going to make you, it's going to compromise whatever safety and security you're trying to set up there, for better or worse. I mean, people want to hide their identities for multiple reasons. People are just going to jump straight to the whole, like, well, it's to hide criminal activities or whatever. That's not always the case. Anyway, I think the last major thing to bring up about chat rooms, I'm still working on some parts, but the last major thing, I want to say it's the last freedom of expression that you'll ever have, when being able to have conversations with others. When you're reading off lines and lines of text with words in there, you're going to miss certain things. You know, the emphasis, the expressions, you're going to miss a lot that you would catch in a normal conversation. So you could easily offend someone else because what you said was not understood as the joke that you put it out to be. So while you have that, it is still kind of like the last bastion, so to speak, of free conversation. Some people can remember some people will remember these conversations as being some of the best ones they ever had, because they don't have those in real life anymore. And that's something that I've noted as well, because we need these conversations, and we will go after them at some point in time. I say we, and I can point to several friends who I know who are the same way. Of course, you can also point to half a dozen older people in church, especially, who just stand around after service and just talk for like the next half hour to hour. And it's just like, yeah, okay. They're doing that in real life. And then people will talk. Some people will just talk longer than others. And chat rooms can exist to carry on conversation from real life to the online world, the digital world. In the case of something like imvu.com, spell it out as the four letters, imvu. It's a 3D chat program. You can actually pick an online avatar, an online representation of who you want to be, and you can go from there. You can have fun with settings and not just words. You could do expressions. You could dress up in the worst outfits ever. Like, these chat programs can be very different from one another and make it be so much more memorable. I heard about Second Life, but I haven't really been able to try it out. The one time I did try it out, I think my laptop ended up freezing because it couldn't process all that stuff. But I only remember like popping in and then it just ending right there. Alright, that's about it. I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Just leave me your thoughts, alright? Until next time.